Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Sonwabo Jongile, and I promise you to show you or to give you instruction as to how do you create a Blackboard session. So this is basically why I'm on this page now. To create a Blackboard session, what you need to do is you need to access the module in which you want to create a Blackboard session for. In this case, I'm using the Design for Blended Learning course, but in your case, you'll choose your own module, because you cannot use this module because you're not lecturers of this module, you're students, so you won't have the course management function. If you can follow my cursor there where I'm circling, you don't have this part as a student, hence you need to access the module in which you are a lecturer in. All right, so once you've accessed that course, what you need to do is you need to go to course tools. All right, why are you clicking on course tools? To access all the tools that your your course can offer. So in this case, Blackboard tools, in this case we want to access the Blackboard Collaborate Ultra. All right, just to scroll down to show you more of the courses, the tools that a Blackboard can offer you. You also have your announcement. You can quickly do an announcement. Blackboard Ultra, your blogs, which we spoke about in the course, your calendars, your messages, your rubric, your self and peer assessments, which I showed you earlier as well, which I'll also show you later on. All right, if you want to send emails or tasks, so it's everything that you want to create within a Blackboard course. So these are all your tools. So in this case, we want to make use of Blackboard Collaborate Ultra. So I'll click once on Blackboard Collaborate Ultra, and now I will have this page. All right, now on this page it will list all the sessions that you've created in the previous years, but in your case it might happen that you have not yet created a Blackboard session, Collaborate session, meaning that now you won't have anything in here but this button that says create session. All right, so basically what you'll need to do is to create a new session. What you do is you click on create session, and then a new side pane will pop up, and then you type in the name of the session. It could be session 1, seminar 1, like we do on this course, or it could be the topic that you want to discuss with your students. So in this case, I'll just call this one testing, because I'm just testing, or I'm just demonstrating to you. All right, so after you've inserted your topic, you can just scroll down to access more options. All right, on the options you have your guest access. So this means that now whoever is in your course, your students, they will be participants in this course, in this session, or you can make them presenters, or you can make them moderators. So what does this mean? As participants, it means that now there's limited functions that they can do in this course, in this session. But as presenters, it means that someone else, say for an example, you create a session whereby your students will present on something, on topics. Say for an example, you've grouped them into 3 groups, and then they will present. So it will be best to make them presenters. The guest list should be as presenters as well, so that they are able to manipulate some of the function within the session. As moderators, it means that now they have full access on the session. They can add people, they can delete people, they can change roles. It means that now they get your role as well. So you might need to be careful who you make your moderator, who you make your presenter, and who you make your participants. So in this case, if you're dealing with your students, you leave them as participants, which I'll leave it like that. This is your guest link, but I'll come back to your guest list later on. So you'll need to scroll down. The start date, you leave it as it is. Now the time when I started this session was at 11:12, so hence the start date and time is exactly 11:12. The end date then is your until what time will this session be open. So in most of the times, I don't like to put in the end date on the session, but rather to say no end, meaning that the session will stay open. But if you know that now the session is on Friday from 12 until 1 o'clock, then you can say the end session is at 2 o'clock, just to give it some time for you to actually have time to finish whatever you are doing. So what you'll do is you'll have your start date as normal, or if you like, early entry. What is early entry? Early entry allows your students to actually, because remember they are participants, so it allows them to actually try to log in earlier before the start date of the session, the start time, sorry, of the session. So start time can be, early entry could be 60 minutes max in before the session. In this case, you know that with our session, our seminars started 2 o'clock, but we open the session is from 1 o'clock, so that you troubleshoot any problems that your students may encounter in terms of logging in and audio preparations and stuff like that. So that's basically that. All right, so what you need to do is you click on session settings as well. You scroll down. So your recording starts with your default attendee role. We said it will remain participants. Recording, allow recording downloads, so it's up to you. If you have policies against this, then you make sure that you don't tick that. But if you want students to actually download the recording after you've recorded your sessions, then you will tick that. But if it's not ticked, then your session will just be recorded, but your students will not be able to download, so they won't be downloadable. All right, anonymize chat messages. This is up to you, but it's best to see who's saying what, because if you anonymize, students may actually do whatever they want to say about so it might be a problem. Okay, so I'll just leave that. I don't want them I want to see who says what. All right, moderator permissions, only show profile pictures for moderator, so this is up to you. So whoever you make moderator, you can if you want, you just delete the mute the pictures, profile pictures, and then only see that of moderators. So this may seem something as if it's something light, but it's actually something very interesting when you start chatting, because you get to see where are your moderators, if it's your moderator that is actually now saying something, because the pictures are there. So it's a little bit tricky how you want to play that, but you'll see how it works for you. All right, participants, what is it that they can share? They can share audio, they can share videos, they can post chat messages, they draw on the board and files. So it's up to you, what is it, which rights do you want to give them. So if you don't want them sharing any videos or audios, you can just deactivate those two, and then you want them to chat. Or if you want them to share audios and videos without chatting, then you would actually put in no chat. All right, so basically I'll tick that as well. All right, enable session telephony, allow attendees to join session using a telephone. Apparently students can actually log in session using their phones, so you might want to just allow that because it's a default setting. All right, private chats, participants can only chat privately with moderators. So this means that now if you allocated 2 people, let's say for an example, you are in a chat, or you're demonstrating, you're discussing a certain topic, and then within that topic you have champions, 3 champions within those topics, and then what you can do is you group your students for each champion joining that person, and then what you can do is you can actually privatize that session or that chat. So there's quite a lot that you can do within Collaborate. So as default, it's not active. Moderator supervise all private chats. So if you've created private chats, moderators have access to those as well. So it's not, as a moderator, you're not restricted to the chat that you created for. You're not restricted to the chat that you belong to, but you can also see chat created from other moderators or by other moderators. All right, so I doubt if you want to complicate things like that, so you'll just leave it as is, and then you just click on save. As you can see now, your session is open and it's in progress. No end date, and it's in progress because the start date was at 11:12 and it's now 11:19. All right, this is basically what you will see. Now for your students, as soon as your students log in and when they go to your course, you'll find that you have your Blackboard Collaborate in there. So immediately as a student of this course, I'll be able to access this. But most of the time the students will find it difficult to access the actual chat room. So what you need to do after creating the chat room or the session, you need to go click where it says on the three dotted circle where it says session options. You click once there, and then you just click on copy guest list. All right, sorry, copy guest link. So when you copy a guest link, what you need to do is you just click once there. Already it will say copied, so you've already copied the guest link. And then what you can do with this link is you can go to your email, you can go to send email, you send all your students that email. Let's say for an example, let me just go there. In this case, if I want to send everyone, I'll say all users, send email to all users in the course. Or if I want specific groups within my students, then I'll go to single, or I'll go to single select group, the single select users, then the single select groups. So if you already grouped your students, then you can send the link to specific groups, not everyone. So in this case also I can send it to specific people if I want all users, but select specific people I want to. But if it's the whole group, then you might want to make it an announcement. So in this case, like we do with this course, so you go to announcement, and then you create a new announcement, and then you give it a subject, and then you just type in there where it says message, or you can just type in the guest link where it says announcement subject. So it's basically up to you. So but I'll prefer to put it in there. And then what you do is once the session is there, sorry, the link is there, you just type in following please see link, or please use this link to access the session later or tomorrow or whatever date you've set. And then what you do is don't forget to come to email announcement, check this box. What it does, it sends the email, it sends an announcement on Blackboard, and then it also sends to each individual student that you have on your course, so they also get an email. All right, so this way communication is open, they can see whatever you want them to see. So you go so when you're done, you can just send on submit, you'll send them the link, they know exactly when to go and log in. If you also have special instructions, you can just put them there before you send. All right, now let's go back to our collaborate session. All right, now on the collaborate session again, while we're still using the test site, so you can just click on the three dots again, and then what you can do is if you don't want the session anymore, you can delete the session. All right, so if you want to join the session yourself, then you can just click once on join the session. All right, now remember the guest list, even if you have someone who does not have a collaborate session as a Blackboard account, they'll still be able to access Blackboard Collaborate using that guest list. So that's the nice thing about the guest list, is that it does not only want you to pick up only those who have accounts, even those who do not have. So if you have a guest lecturer from UWC or a champion from elsewhere, that will be joining the session on the discussion, and then you can just do that. So it's not a train smash. All right, now I'm trying to access the actual session so that I can actually demonstrate more of what you can do within a Blackboard session. It's just that now CPET is being CPET, taking its time, very slow in terms of internet access. And I must say this is the same frustration that students will get. But remember that with the student, it's even more, it's 10 times more your frustration, because they don't want to miss the session, and they know that they might be marked down for not accessing the session, or they might miss off on lots of information if you don't log in. Hence, it's important to actually also on your instructions when you do the announcement to say that you will record the session. But of course, in a recorded session, they might miss the conversations happening in the chat. So yeah, so there's quite a lot of things that you will miss if you listen to a recording other than someone who has been in the session. All right. The reason now why I'm bubbling around is just that I'm waiting for this thing to load, and it's still taking time, so I'm not quite sure what to say anymore. Let's give it a minute or two. Oh, the other thing is that I'm on wireless myself. I'm using Wi-Fi, so I think that might be the other thing, because let's see, limited access now, and my IPs are conflicting at the same time. So that's basically how to create a Blackboard session. So not sure whether I should just create another one and how to behave or to play when you're in session, or I should just stop here, call it. I think basically what was important was how to create a Blackboard session, so that everything else you can just see later on how we can work with. So I think it will be best to just say thank you very much for listening. I'm gonna create another screencast regarding how to create how to set up a peer assessment for your students as well. Thank you very much for watching, and see ya.